It seems like these days the issue of radical Islamic extremism is on everyone's mind. Many of us know and remember the crisis of 9/11. I use that word crisis because that's exactly what 9/11 was for the United States. It was certainly for me. When a crisis hits, it consumes us entirely. It consumes you from the inside out. You can't run from it. You can't ignore it. You go to bed thinking about it, and you wake up haunted by it. I mean, you remember where you were, who you were with, and you remember all the details of that day, what you were thinking in that moment. For me, I was in homeroom class in the 12th grade, and I'm sure you too remember that day very well. It was on 9/11 that the West saw how utterly destructive radical Muslim terrorism can be. Al-Qaeda had reached the shores of America, and not only that, the terror group succeeded in spreading death and extreme fear. Now, since that time, America and the West have been dealing with this issue in one way or another. And within the last year, we were introduced to the new bullies, the new kids on the terrorist block, ISIS. It was that day when an American journalist named James Foley showed up on our nightly news. He was wearing that orange jumpsuit with an ISIS deadbeat thug behind him. That act of terror was one of the most chilling America had ever seen. It was definitely one of the worst I had ever seen. It was so blatant, so inhumane, so evil. And then the news cycles began. TV anchors began giving their opinions, celebrities began arguing, politicians began politicking, and so many discussions began as to what is or what is not Islam in the mainstream media. Now, it's interesting because it seems like when people discuss religion, everybody has an opinion, right? But opinions must be irrelevant when discussing religions because there's only one way, there's only one sure way to know what a religion teaches or what that religion does not teach. It's two main things you need to look into. One, the holy book of that religion, and two, the religion's founding fathers, what those closest to the founder said. This is the most accurate way to study religion. So if you're discussing things about Christianity, then look no further than the Gospels and what Jesus himself said, right? So you have to let the religion speak for itself. My opinion, and ultimately our opinion, really doesn't matter in the big scheme of things. And I don't mean that you're not entitled to your opinion, but when it comes to things that we consider holy, yeah, opinions have to fade because there are billions of opinions out there. So after 9/11, President Bush goes on the news and tells the world Islam has been hijacked by terrorists.
Those who commit evil in the name of Allah blaspheme the name of Allah. The terrorists are traitors to their own faith, trying in effect to hijack Islam itself.
Or you can fast forward to present day and you hear this one. President Obama with his repetitive line. He says, let's get this clear. The Islamic State is not Islamic, and the Islamic State is not a state.
Now let's make two things clear. ISIL is not Islamic. No religion condones the killing of innocents, and the vast majority of ISIL's victims have been Muslim. And ISIL is certainly not a state.
Okay, guys, we heard your opinion, but now let's see what Islam itself teaches. You know how Christians say WWJD? Okay, well, to get to the bottom of this, I'm going to switch that around a little. Today I'm asking WWMD. What would Muhammad do? The answer may just surprise you. So join me, and let's get to the bottom of this subject. What is the truth about ISIS? Are they terrorists who have hijacked the religion, or does Islam really need to take another look at its core teachings? You're about to find out. So, before we begin, to answer these questions correctly, we have to consider only credible Islamic sources. They only could be presented. So we look to the founder, Muhammad, and his holy book, the Quran. Sunni Muslims make up the vast majority of the Muslim population on the earth. This simply means that they follow the Quran or the exact actions of Muhammad. It's known as the Sunnah. So in order to know what Muhammad thought, what Muhammad said, or what Muhammad did, we have to refer back to the trusted Sunni Hadith, which is a very fancy way of saying it's the collection of what Muhammad said and did. Now, throughout time, as one can imagine, the followers of Islam began to manipulate and to add to what their prophet said for whatever reason, personal ambition, politics, whatever. But that's okay because we are people, right? And people exaggerate. We hype things up. We miss important details. We just get it wrong. But fortunately, this led the Muslim community to narrow down the narrations of Muhammad as two things, either true or untrue. So either sahih or untrustworthy sayings. This simply means that you can trust the narration or you cannot trust the narration. So this video series will only show and present Quranic verses and trusted verified hadith that Sunni Muslims all over the world consider true, and billions of them actually live by it. So stay tuned, get informed, and share this video and the upcoming ones all over your social media. And let's begin this discussion. You can join the discussion by using the hashtag on your screen.